Well, certainly, Katlego, you'd understand that this specific road that we're at, which is the second location of the upgrades to the Moloto road, you'd understand that this specific route carries about 60,000 commuters every day. And the issue of reckless driving, particularly dangerous overtaking, the layout of the road, and of course the sheer volume of traffic that we see on this road has really been what is attributed to the kind of carnage that we've seen on this route over the years. In fact, it was the minister in that briefing that we took live just a few moments ago who described some of the accidents that have happened on this road as one of the darkest times in the country's history. I am joined now with the minister, who's been, of course, doing this oversight visit and just to look at the different progress of the construction here, describing it as history, a dark time in our history. But I'm assuming you said history because of the interventions that have been put here by SANRAL. Talk us through those, Minister.
Well, we are dealing with 136 kilometers that runs all the way from Marble Hall to the city of Tshwane. And at the moment, we're in the Mpumalanga section of this road. This road is being upgraded in 17 sections. And 4 of those sections are under construction at the moment. We are hoping that this particular section, it's 12 kilometers long, will be open to two-way traffic by the end of the year. That's what the contractors have told us. And as you correctly say, this road has a very, very unhappy history. And it has claimed many, many lives. What we hope is with the new design of the road, it will be much, much safer, and it will also get people and goods to their destinations much more effectively. So what we're doing here is we're putting in 2 lanes either way. There is a concrete barrier in the middle to stop people from doing U-bends, and also, of course, to stop pedestrians from crossing the road at great risk to themselves and to drivers. We've installed high-mast lighting, and that will run the length of the road, because these commuters that you spoke about are using this road early in the morning, late at night, when it's dark, and obviously lighting is a big factor in ensuring greater traffic safety. We're also installing fiber, and the long-term intention is that the whole road should ultimately be under camera observation, and those pictures would be retailed to a SANRAL control room where we would be able to identify problematic driver behavior and then, of course, deploy necessary law enforcement.
Yeah. And we know, of course, from the road as we've been traveling that it stretches through 3 provinces, essentially. And in that is many businesses along it, many homes and residents. Let's just talk about how the department, or the national SANRAL as well, plans to do this construction, considering the fact that there's so much activity that happens in between this road.
Well, I think that's, first of all, why we've done it in 17 portions, because with the volume of traffic that it's carrying, you can't do all of it at once. But also what is very complicated is that there has been encroachment into what we call the road reserve. So there are houses that have been built in the road reserve. There's also trading that is going on in the road reserve, and obviously it's necessary to go to each and every one of those individuals and to negotiate that they move out of the road reserve. That then, of course, requires that they are settled on an alternative site. I've invited mayors and traditional authorities to accompany me today on this oversight visit, because we're going to need them. You know, building a road is not just a construction job, it's a community effort where we have to explain to everybody why it's in the national interest and in the interests of people who live around here to complete this project timelessly, and why we are going to need them to move to alternative sites.
And say there is obviously difficulty in that regard. What then will happen if those negotiations are not come, to fruition?
Well, the law does allow for expropriation in the road reserve, and obviously we would then need to get court orders. But I think that if we have cooperation from municipalities, people normally want to be assured that they will have an alternative site. And that's why we think it's important that everybody should understand what we're trying to do here so that we work together on solutions.
Yeah, certainly. And Minister, I think obviously because of the investment as well that has been put into this upgrade and refurbishment of about 3.7 billion, how do you plan to see this, of course, boosting the economy of both of Mpumalanga, Limpopo and Gauteng as well?
Well, I think the first thing that we should say is that while we're doing construction, it's obviously good for job creation. I mean, just these 12 kilometers has created 200 jobs, and there's 88 small contractors who are doing the drainage work and the paving and so on. So it's very good for the local economy during construction phase. But clearly going forward into the future, it makes this whole area much more accessible for those who would be considering investing or starting businesses in this area. They will have certainty that they can move goods and services effectively on a safe road network. So I think that overall it's going to be good in the longer term for this whole community.
Right. Thank you so much for your time, Minister. We'll see you, of course, at the third location of this massive project that's been undertaken by the Department of Transport as well as Sunrail. You'd understand that this is a big project and an undertaking given the many stories of the fatalities that have come from this road. In fact, you'd remember even just looking at the festive season statistics from the 2023 year, seeing about 1,180 fatalities. And so this is really the Transport Department's efforts to try and curb those fatalities. But as you've also heard there, the boost in economic growth in some of these areas in the provinces of Gauteng as well as Limpopo, Moloto Road being a key artery in regards to that.
Certainly is. Veronica Makhoali out in Mpumalanga together with the Minister of Transport doing that walkabout in the various areas of the refurbishment of the Moloto Road. We'll get an update from you, Veronica, when you get to that third location. And that's how we wrap up the second hour of Newsfeed PM this Saturday afternoon. Do stay with us as we bring you headlines after this.